Hey y'all, ever wondered which vegetables can transform your home garden into a produce paradise? You know, the kind of garden that makes your neighbors jealous and has your family rushing to the dinner table? Well, stick around because we're about to dig into the top picks and secret hacks to make your garden the envy of the neighborhood. Welcome to our gardening and farming channel. I'm so excited to get my hands dirty with you and share some of my favorite gardening secrets. In this two-part series, we're going to unveil the top 10 vegetables perfect for home cultivation, along with those insider tips I've learned over the years to boost your harvests and make your garden flourish. So grab your gardening gloves and a glass of sweet tea, and let's dive into the first 5 vegetables that will have you saying homegrown goodness in no time. Let's start with a classic, shall we? Tomatoes. They're a staple in so many kitchens, and for good reason. These vibrant red fruits are not only delicious, but also incredibly versatile. There's nothing quite like biting into a juicy, sun-ripened tomato straight from your own backyard. The burst of flavor is simply unmatched. It just tastes like summer sunshine, doesn't it? That sweet, tangy flavor is a true delight. Now, to really make those tomatoes sing, I've got a tip for you. Plant basil nearby. This classic combination is a gardener's secret weapon. Not only does it create the loveliest aroma in your garden, but basil actually enhances the flavor of tomatoes and helps deter pests. Talk about a win-win. Plus, you'll have fresh basil for your recipes. And if you've ever experienced blossom end rot, you know, those dark spots on the bottom of your tomatoes, I've got a hack for that too. It's a common issue, but easily fixable. It's all about adding calcium to the soil, and my favorite way to do that is with crushed eggshells. It's a simple, natural solution. Just sprinkle some around the base of your tomato plants, and you'll be amazed at the difference. Your tomatoes will thank you. Tomatoes thrive in warmth and sunshine, so make sure you plant them in a spot that gets at least 6 hours of direct sunlight a day. They love soaking up those rays. And don't be afraid to give them plenty of water, especially during those hot summer months. Consistent watering is key to juicy tomatoes. Now let's talk about supporting those beautiful tomato plants. Proper support is crucial for healthy growth. You can use cages, stakes, or even trellises to keep them upright and prevent them from sprawling all over the place. This also helps with air circulation. Trust me, your garden will look so much neater, and it'll be easier to harvest those gorgeous tomatoes when the time comes. A tidy garden is a happy garden. Speaking of harvesting, did you know that you can pick tomatoes at different stages of ripeness depending on how you plan to use them? This gives you flexibility in your cooking. If you're making a sauce, you can even use those green tomatoes. They add a unique flavor and texture. But honestly, there's nothing quite like a perfectly ripe red tomato, warm from the sun. It's nature's candy. Slice it up, add a little salt and pepper, maybe a drizzle of olive oil. That's summer on a plate right there. Simple, yet so satisfying. So go on, y'all. Get those tomato plants in the ground and get ready for a bountiful harvest. Your taste buds will thank you. Next up, we're talking about lettuce, the queen of salads. Lettuce is one of those vegetables that's so rewarding to grow at home because it grows quickly and you can enjoy fresh salads all season long. Now, when it comes to lettuce, I'm a big fan of loose leaf varieties. Why? Because you can continuously harvest the outer leaves and the plant will just keep on growing. It's like having a never-ending supply of salad greens right at your fingertips. And here's a little hack for you. Especially if you live in a warmer climate, grow lettuce in shaded areas during the summer months. This will help prevent bolting, which is when lettuce sends up a flower stalk and the leaves start to taste bitter. Lettuce prefers well-drained soil, so if your soil is heavy, you can amend it with some compost or other organic matter to improve drainage. And just like with tomatoes, it's important to water your lettuce regularly, especially during dry spells. Now let's talk about harvesting that beautiful lettuce. Like I mentioned earlier, with loose leaf varieties, you can simply snip off the outer leaves as needed, leaving the center of the plant to continue growing. And here's a fun tip. If you want to keep your lettuce fresh and crisp even longer, try floating the leaves in a bowl of cold water for a few minutes before storing them in the refrigerator. So there you have it. With just a little bit of care and attention, you can enjoy fresh, homegrown salads all summer long. Now, who doesn't love a crunchy, sweet carrot? They're not only delicious, but they're packed with nutrients too. And the best part is, carrots are surprisingly easy to grow in your home garden, even if you don't have a lot of space. One of the most important things to remember when planting carrots is to make sure the soil is loose and free from stones. Carrots need loose soil to grow long and straight, so take the time to break up any clumps and remove any rocks before you plant your seeds. And here's a little hack that I love: sow radish seeds alongside your carrots. Radishes germinate and grow much faster than carrots, so they'll help to loosen the soil as they grow, making it easier for your carrots to thrive. Plus, you'll get a bonus crop of radishes. Carrots prefer cooler temperatures, so it's best to plant them in early spring or late summer. They also need consistent moisture, so be sure to water them regularly, especially during dry spells. Now, when it comes to harvesting your carrots, don't wait until they're huge. Carrots are actually sweeter and more tender when they're smaller. You can start harvesting them when they're about the size of your thumb. And here's a fun idea. Try roasting those carrots with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper. Roasting really brings out their natural sweetness and makes them absolutely irresistible. So there you have it. With a little bit of love and attention, you'll have a bumper crop of delicious homegrown carrots in no time. Let's move on to another garden favorite: green beans. These vibrant, crunchy vegetables are a staple in many gardens and kitchens. These guys are prolific producers, and they're incredibly versatile in the kitchen. Whether you're a seasoned chef or a home cook, green beans can fit into almost any dish. You can steam them, sauté them, roast them, add them to soups and stews. The possibilities are endless. They can be a side dish or a main ingredient. Now, if you're planning on growing pole beans, which are the type that climb, I highly recommend providing them with a sturdy trellis or support system. This helps them grow tall and strong. This will not only maximize your garden space, but also make it easier to harvest those beans when they're ready. Plus, it keeps the beans off the ground, reducing the risk of pests and diseases. And here's a fun hack that's been a game changer in my garden. Plant your beans alongside corn. This method is both efficient and effective. The beans will naturally climb the corn stalks, using them as a natural trellis. It's a beautiful example of companion planting. It's a great way to save space, and the beans and corn actually benefit from each other as they grow. The corn provides support, while the beans add nitrogen to the soil. Green beans prefer well-drained soil and full sun to partial shade. They thrive in these conditions and will reward you with a bountiful harvest. They also need consistent moisture, so be sure to water them regularly, especially during dry spells. Mulching can help retain soil moisture. When it comes to harvesting your green beans, be sure to pick them regularly. This encourages the plant to produce more beans. The more you pick, the more the plant will produce. It's a rewarding cycle that keeps your garden productive. And don't be afraid to experiment with different varieties. Each type brings something unique to the table. There are so many different types of green beans out there, each with its own unique flavor and texture. From slender French beans to hearty Romano beans, the choices are endless. One of my favorite ways to enjoy fresh green beans is to simply steam them until they're tender crisp and then toss them with a little butter, salt, and pepper. It's a classic preparation that never fails. It's a simple side dish that's always a crowd pleaser. Perfect for any meal, whether it's a casual family dinner or a festive holiday feast. So there you have it. With a little bit of effort and care, you'll have an abundance of delicious homegrown green beans to enjoy all season long. Happy gardening, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Last but not least, we're talking about radishes. These little gems are perfect for beginner gardeners because they're incredibly easy to grow and they mature super quickly. Radishes are one of the fastest growing vegetables you can plant. You can literally go from seed to harvest in less than a month. This makes them an excellent choice for those who want quick results. One of my favorite things about radishes is that you can sow a few seeds every couple of weeks for a continuous supply throughout the growing season. This way you always have fresh radishes on hand. Just imagine having fresh, crunchy radishes to add to your salads and sandwiches all spring and summer long. They add a delightful crunch and a peppery flavor that enhances any dish. And remember that hack I mentioned earlier about planting radishes alongside carrots? It's a great way to maximize your garden space. Well, it works both ways. The radishes help mark the rows for the slower germinating carrots. You can also use radishes as row markers for slower germinating crops like carrots. This way, you can easily see where your carrots are planted. The radishes will pop up first, letting you know where your carrots are planted so you don't accidentally disturb them. It's a simple yet effective gardening trick. Radishes prefer cooler temperatures and well-drained soil. They thrive in these conditions and grow rapidly. They also need consistent moisture, so be sure to water them regularly, especially during dry spells. Keeping the soil moist ensures they grow tender and flavorful. When it comes to harvesting your radishes, don't wait too long. They are best enjoyed when they are small and tender. They're best when they're small and tender. This is when they have the perfect texture and flavor. If you let them grow too large, they can become woody and pungent. Overgrown radishes lose their delicate taste and become tough. And here's a fun idea. Try roasting your radishes. It's a unique way to enjoy them. It might sound strange, but roasting really brings out their natural sweetness and mellows out their peppery bite. You'll be surprised by how delicious they are. Toss them with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper and roast them in the oven until they're tender. You won't be disappointed. It's a simple yet tasty way to enjoy radishes. So there you have it. Radishes are versatile and easy to grow. Radishes are a quick, easy, and delicious addition to any garden. They offer a lot of benefits for minimal effort. Give them a try and see for yourself. You'll love the results. Well, there you have it, folks. 5 fantastic vegetables that are just begging to be planted in your garden. I hope you're feeling inspired to get out there and get your hands dirty. Remember, gardening is all about experimenting, having fun, and enjoying the fruits and vegetables of your labor. Excited about these vegetables? In our next episode, we'll explore 5 more must-grow veggies and share additional secret tips to elevate your gardening game. We'll be diving into the wonderful world of zucchini, cucumbers, bell peppers, spinach, and beets. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. If you found these tips helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more gardening insights. And be sure to share your favorite vegetable to grow at home in the comments below. I love hearing from y'all. Happy gardening! Hey y'all, ready to uncover more top vegetables for your home garden and the secret hacks to cultivate them successfully? Let's get started. There's nothing quite like the satisfaction of harvesting your own fresh produce, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Welcome back to our gardening and farming channel. In this episode, we'll continue our journey with 5 more essential vegetables to grow at home, complete with expert tips and hacks. Remember, a thriving garden is all about creating a space where both beauty and bounty can grow. So grab your gardening gloves and let's get our hands dirty as we explore the wonderful world of homegrown vegetables. First up, we're talking spinach. This leafy green is not just a staple in many kitchens, but it's also a nutritional powerhouse that can elevate any dish. This leafy green is like the superhero of the garden, packed with vitamins and minerals. Spinach is rich in iron, calcium, and vitamins A, C, and K, making it an essential addition to a healthy diet. It's so versatile, perfect for salads, smoothies, or even sautéed as a simple side dish. You can toss it into soups, blend it into sauces, or even bake it into savory pastries. Now, spinach prefers cooler temperatures, so the perfect time to plant it is in early spring or fall. This ensures that the plant thrives without the stress of extreme heat. You'll want to choose a spot in your garden that gets about 6 hours of sunlight a day. Too much direct sunlight can cause the leaves to wilt, so partial shade can be beneficial in hotter climates. When it comes to planting, you can sow seeds directly into the ground or start them indoors a few weeks before the last frost. Starting seeds indoors can give you a head start on the growing season. Make sure your soil is nice and loose and space those seeds about an inch apart. This allows each plant enough room to grow without competing for nutrients. Spinach loves moisture, so keep the soil consistently damp, especially during those warmer months. Regular watering is key to preventing the leaves from becoming tough and bitter. Now here's a little hack for you. Mulching around your spinach plants works wonders. Mulch helps to retain soil moisture and keeps the roots cool. It helps retain moisture, keeps those roots cool, and prevents pesky weeds from popping up. Mulching can also improve soil structure over time. You can use straw, grass clippings, or even shredded leaves. Each type of mulch has its own benefits, so feel free to experiment with what works best in your garden. Harvesting spinach is super satisfying. There's nothing quite like picking fresh leaves straight from your garden. You can start snipping off the outer leaves as soon as they're big enough to eat. This method, known as cut and come again, allows the plant to continue producing new leaves. Just be sure to leave the center leaves to keep growing, and you'll have a continuous supply of fresh spinach all season long. This way, you can enjoy a steady harvest without replanting. Remember, spinach is a fast grower, so don't be afraid to plant multiple rounds throughout the spring and fall. This ensures you have a constant supply of fresh leaves. It's a rewarding crop that adds a burst of freshness to any meal. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or a beginner, growing spinach is a fulfilling and nutritious endeavor. Next up, let's add a pop of color and a touch of heat to our gardens with peppers. From sweet bell peppers to fiery jalapenos, there's a pepper variety out there for everyone. And the best part? They're surprisingly easy to grow at home. Now, peppers are a little more sensitive to the cold than some of our other veggies, so it's best to start them indoors about 8 to 10 weeks before the last frost date in your area. You can use seed trays or small pots filled with a good quality seed starting mix. Once your pepper seedlings have a few sets of true leaves, it's time to harden them off. This means gradually introducing them to the outdoors for short periods each day. This helps them acclimate to the sun and wind before you transplant them into the garden. Peppers thrive in warm soil, so here's a little hack. Use black plastic mulch around your plants. It helps warm the soil faster in the spring and promotes faster growth. Plus, it helps retain moisture and suppresses weeds. When it comes to harvesting, you can pick peppers at any stage of ripeness. Green peppers are unripe and have a slightly bitter flavor, while red, yellow, and orange peppers are fully ripe and sweeter. Now, let's talk about zucchini, the champion of abundance in the summer garden. This versatile squash is a true delight to grow, and it's known for producing an impressive harvest. Zucchini loves warm weather and plenty of sunshine, so choose a spot in your garden that gets at least 6 hours of direct sunlight each day. You can direct sow zucchini seeds after the danger of frost has passed, or you can start them indoors a few weeks earlier for a head start. When it comes to spacing, give those zucchini plants plenty of room to sprawl. They can get quite large. Space them about 3 to 4 feet apart to ensure good air circulation and prevent diseases. Now here's a little tip. For the best flavor, harvest your zucchini when they're about 6 to 8 inches long. Young zucchini are more tender and have a sweeter flavor. Plus, regular harvesting encourages the plant to produce even more. Zucchini plants are notorious for attracting squash bugs, but don't worry, we've got a hack for that. Plant nasturtiums nearby. These cheerful flowers act as a natural deterrent, keeping those pesky bugs away from your precious zucchini plants. Is there anything more refreshing than a cool cucumber on a hot summer day? These crisp, hydrating vegetables are not only a delight to eat, but also a joy to grow. Whether you enjoy them in salads, sandwiches, or just on their own, cucumbers are a versatile addition to any meal. These crunchy, hydrating veggies are a must-have for any garden, and they're surprisingly easy to grow. With just a little care and attention, you can have a bountiful harvest of cucumbers all summer long. They are perfect for both novice and experienced gardeners alike. Like zucchini, cucumbers thrive in warm weather and need plenty of sunshine. They love the heat and will flourish when given the right conditions. Make sure to plant them in a spot where they can soak up the sun for most of the day. Choose a spot in your garden that gets at least 6 hours of direct sunlight each day. The more sunlight they receive, the better they will grow. Sunlight is essential for their growth and helps them develop that crisp texture we all love. You can direct sow cucumber seeds after the danger of frost has passed, or start them indoors a few weeks earlier. Starting them indoors can give you a head start on the growing season, especially if you live in a cooler climate. Now, cucumbers are vining plants, so it's a good idea to provide them with some support. This not only helps the plants grow upwards, but also keeps the fruits clean and makes them easier to harvest. You can use a trellis, fence, or even a simple teepee structure made from bamboo poles. These structures provide the necessary support for the vines to climb and spread out, ensuring they get plenty of air circulation. Training your cucumbers vertically saves space in the garden and improves air circulation, which helps prevent diseases. Vertical growth also makes it easier to spot and pick the cucumbers when they are ready to harvest. Here's a little hack to prevent your cucumber vines from shading other plants in your garden. Position your trellis or support structure on the north side of your garden bed. This way, the cucumber vines will grow up and over, casting their shade on the ground rather than blocking the sun from other veggies. This way, the cucumber vines will grow up and over, casting their shade on the ground rather than blocking the sun from other veggies. This simple trick can make a big difference in the overall health and productivity of your garden. When it comes to harvesting, pick your cucumbers when they're firm and still green. They should be about 6 to 8 inches long, depending on the variety. Regularly checking your plants will ensure you pick them at the perfect time. Overripe cucumbers can be bitter and seedy. If left on the vine too long, they can also signal the plant to stop producing new fruits. so it's important to harvest them regularly. Regular harvesting, just like with zucchini, encourages the plant to produce more cucumbers throughout the season. By keeping up with your harvest, you'll enjoy a continuous supply of fresh, delicious cucumbers all summer long. Last but not least, let's talk about beets. These vibrant root vegetables are not only delicious but also incredibly nutritious. They come in a variety of colors, from deep red to golden yellow, and even striped varieties known as chioggia. Each type brings its own unique flavor and visual appeal to your dishes. Beets are packed with essential vitamins and minerals, including vitamin C, potassium, and manganese. They are also a great source of dietary fiber and antioxidants, which can help reduce inflammation and improve overall health. And the best part? You can eat both the roots and the greens. The greens are often overlooked but are just as nutritious as the roots. They can be used in a variety of dishes, adding a slightly earthy flavor that complements many recipes. Beets prefer cooler temperatures, so it's best to plant them in early spring or late summer for a fall harvest. They thrive in well-drained soil with a pH between 6.0 and 7.5. Make sure to keep the soil consistently moist but not waterlogged. Choose a spot in your garden that gets at least 6 hours of sunlight each day. Beets need plenty of light to grow those vibrant, colorful roots. If you live in a warmer climate, consider providing some afternoon shade to prevent the plants from overheating. When sowing beet seeds, plant them about an inch deep and 2 to 3 inches apart. This spacing allows the roots to develop properly without overcrowding. Be sure to water the seeds gently after planting to help them settle into the soil. Beets need their space to grow those beautiful bulbous roots. As they grow, you may need to thin the seedlings to ensure they have enough room. This will help prevent competition for nutrients and water. Once the seedlings emerge, thin them to about 3 inches apart to give them ample room to develop. Thinning is crucial for healthy root development and can also provide you with tender baby greens to use in salads. Now here's a little hack to speed up beet seed germination. Soak your beet seeds in warm water for about 24 hours before planting. This helps soften the seed coat and encourages faster sprouting. This simple step can make a big difference in your germination rates, giving your beets a head start in the growing season. Beet greens are a delicious and nutritious addition to salads, smoothies, or even sautéed as a side dish. They are rich in vitamins A and K, as well as calcium and iron, making them a powerhouse of nutrients. You can start harvesting the greens when they're about 4 to 6 inches tall. Regular harvesting encourages new growth and ensures a continuous supply of fresh greens throughout the growing season. Just snip off the outer leaves, leaving the inner leaves to continue growing. This method allows the plant to keep producing greens while the root continues to develop. The beetroots are ready to harvest when they're about 1 to 3 inches in diameter. Smaller beets tend to be more tender and sweet, while larger beets can be more fibrous but still delicious. Gently loosen the soil around the beets with a garden fork and lift them out of the ground. Be careful not to damage the roots as you harvest. Once harvested, beets can be stored in a cool, dark place for several weeks, allowing you to enjoy their goodness long after the growing season has ended. With these additional vegetables and insider tips, your home garden is set for success. Remember, the key to a thriving garden is continuous learning and adaptation. Don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you and your space. Enjoyed our 2-part series? Hit the like button and subscribe for more gardening tips and tricks. Let us know in the comments which vegetable you're most excited to grow. We love hearing from our fellow gardening enthusiasts. Thank you for joining us on this gardening journey. Stay tuned for more informative content to help your garden flourish. Happy planting!